For the past couple of weeks, I've been working to declutter and reorganize my home, but now it's time for some spring cleaning. And in today's video, I'm going to be covering several areas of the front half of my house to hopefully provide you with plenty of cleaning motivation and inspiration to get started on your spring cleaning as well. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Gabby Lemons and welcome to my channel. Before I can get to any of the spring cleaning, I'm going to need to do a mini home reset here. The day I shot this, I believe was either a Monday or a Tuesday, and I don't know about you, but it's the weekends that really I'm struggling with right now. I'm struggling to stay on top of my normal cleaning when it comes to the weekend, just because we get so caught up in, life and other responsibilities that we have going on, that when it comes to the beginning of the week, I more often than not have to do a whole house reset. So to kick this video off, I just decided to let you have a little glimpse of my life. This is very real life moments as you're seeing here, but I think that's okay. That's reality. No one lives in a Pinterest perfect house all of the time. And I don't really think that should be the goal. I think our homes should be a place that we enjoy, full of things that we actually like instead of things that we think other people will like. And when we're really able to make our home ours, whether you're renting or not, I think that is not only such a blessing from God, but it's just part of being a good steward. So when we have peaceful homes that are well kept and organized, that will reduce stress, help us to rest, and really facilitate the will of God to unfold in our lives. It'll make your time of prayer that much easier because you don't have a mountain of things weighing you down that can hinder your ability to focus in your time of prayer. But also, a well-kept home can make you more willing to have people over for Bible study or just good fellowship. Homemaking really is a ministry, and I really want to start seeing it that way instead of a burden. I was so happy when I got this, what I call my pre-scrub brush. It's basically just a really strong bristled brush that I use to pre-scrub my dishes because we do a lot of sourdough in our home, and sometimes there's just, food that's been sitting that's really hard to get off. So that's basically what I use this scrubber for. It also comes in handy because it saves my good scrubber, because I do use the Scrub Mommy whenever I wash my dishes by hand. And once we started making sourdough, I found myself constantly having to get new ones because of all of the dough getting stuck to the scrubber. Needless to say, having a pre-scrub brush is so incredibly handy. But it's funny because whenever I showed my husband the new scrubber that I got and that I was so excited about it, he just looked at me and was like, "That's a toilet bowl brush." And to me, I don't care what kind of brush it is brand new. It's never been used on a toilet and never will be used on a toilet because it is designated to pre-scrub my dishes. I don't know. Every time I see this brush now, I just think of the look he gave me when he told me that. It's just the funniest thing in the world. So yeah, if you don't have or have never tried having a designated pre-scrub brush, I would definitely recommend it, along with the dishwasher detergent that I showed you just a little bit ago. If you are in the market for a new dishwasher detergent, I highly, highly recommend this one. It's a little more expensive. I used to always use the budget one. I've tried pods and liquid and all that stuff, but I always kind of stuck to the more budget-friendly option. But I cannot tell you enough how incredibly worth it is to pay the little extra and buy these pods, because it just gets everything off. You don't have to pre-rinse. You really don't. And it's really going to save you having to rewash items as well. So if you're in the market for a new dishwasher detergent, I highly recommend this one. As I'm watching this footage back, I came to realize that this mini reset that I'm doing is basically just my daily cleaning tasks, but a more extensive version of it. What's on my daily cleaning list are dishes, counters and tables, to do a quick vacuum, one load of laundry, and a quick tidy. So because I do this every day, it all ends up being really quick. I don't really get behind on dishes anymore since I started being really consistent with it. Also, there's not a whole lot to tidy up because, like I said, I stay on top of things. So the more consistent you can be with your cleaning, the easier it's going to get. So you don't really have to clean for as long of periods of time if you do it every single day. At least that's what's working for me. And our home, even though I do acknowledge that although I am married, we don't have children, but I still think the same principle can apply. As long as you're consistent, it's not going to pile up and it will be basically easier to clean. Something new I'm also trying is kind of spreading out my cleaning throughout my day. So in the morning, I'll unload the dishwasher and hand wash any dishes that may need it, that may be left over from the night before. And I'll wipe down my counters and table. Then I'm able to move on to exercising and getting ready and starting work. And because I do work from home, I do tackle a couple more items from my daily cleaning list during my break. It can get very tiring sitting at my desk for long stretches of time working on the computer, so it's such a nice way to give my mind a bit of a break by doing some chores, really get my body moving. And by doing it this way, towards the end of the night, I have very little to do because I've spread it out throughout the day. It never got overwhelming, and it's just such a relief at the end of the day. But thinking about all of this really got me curious how you do it. What are the things that you do every day? And when do you do it? Do you do it all in the morning? Do you do it all at night? Or do you kind of sprinkle it throughout your day? I would love to know your thoughts in the comments. So, fun fact, this is actually my first time ever doing a spring cleaning. I have deep cleaned different areas and items of my home on just random occasions, just as I, noticed that they needed to be deep cleaned, then I would clean it. But this is the first time I'm like officially doing a spring cleaning and making it a part of my regular routine. And so far, the plan is to do this type of cleaning actually twice a year. So once in the spring and another time 6 months later. And I know earlier I shared with you my daily cleaning checklist, but as far as my spring cleaning goes and those things that I'm going to clean twice a year, I plan to clean my walls, curtains, washer and dryer, shampoo my carpet and the couches. I also want to get to my baseboards, the windows and sills, along with the window ledges, behind all of my major appliances, get inside my oven, and also tackle my doors and frames inside and out. I've thought about doing this for a really long time, but I'm just now getting into it. So if you have any suggestions, maybe there's something on my list that you think I should handle more frequently, like once a month, or if you think that there's something I'm missing from my list, I would love your guys' input. And one thing that I also forgot to mention that's also on my spring cleaning list are light fixtures, which I'm getting ready to clean here in a few minutes. But first, we really need to tackle this ledge. I use my cordless vacuum anywhere and everywhere that I possibly can, so why I didn't use it here, only God knows. But I know for next time. I know the camera doesn't really pick up all the dust that was flying around after the very first swipe, but trust me when I say it was a lot. I have dusted up here once or twice before, but I do leave my windows open as much as I can, which is so nice to have a nice breeze flowing through your house. It really cleans out the air, it keeps it from being too stuffy. The only downside I would say is that it accumulates so much dust. Now, you're getting ready to see just how bad these windowsills are in just a second, but as I was cleaning them, I couldn't help but think some of this buildup has probably been here way before we even moved in. And it got me thinking about this idea of leaving things better than how you found them. And not just in our homes, but in our lives, our relationships, and even our walk with God. Because as homemakers, what we're really doing every single day is stewardship. We're taking what God has given us, like this home, this space, this responsibility, and we're caring for it intentionally. Even when it's not our mess, we still choose to make it better. Now, I want to read to you a verse found in 1 Corinthians chapter 4 and verse 2, but in the New Living Translation. It says, "Now, a person who is put in charge as a manager must be faithful." And I love that. It doesn't say perfect, it says faithful. So even in something as simple as cleaning a dirty window, you're being faithful. You're bringing order where there was neglect. You're creating an environment that reflects care, peace, and intention. And honestly, that's what I want my home to be. Not perfect, but better. Better than yesterday. Better than when I found it. And I think that's such a beautiful reflection of what God does in us. He meets us where we are, but He doesn't leave us there. So as you're cleaning today, I just want to encourage you, what you're doing matters. You're being a good steward. You're creating something meaningful, and you're leaving things better than you found them, which is Christ-like. Isn't that what we're striving for at the end of the day? When I got started cleaning this light fixture, my original plan was just to go ahead and use this microfiber cloth to get all the dust and debris out, trying to take a shortcut. But just as in so many areas of life, the more shortcuts you try to take, the more work you eventually end up making for yourself. So I just quit while I was ahead and decided to put my microfiber cloth down and do it the right way. I don't know if it's so much that I was being lazy, but just really not wanting to climb up and down this ladder. But lucky for me, I am tall enough that I can actually reach the glass shade if I put them along the edge of the ledge that you see here. So I didn't have to constantly go up and down. I was able to find a way to get it done right without having to climb up and down the ladder multiple times. And I know it's just human nature to look for shortcuts, so I'm curious, have any one of you ever tried taking a shortcut when it came to homemaking and you ended up having to pay extra for it later? I would love to hear any type of funny stories about that, or even a very important lesson that you learned about not cutting corners.
Do you ever feel you don't get out what you're putting in? All your hopes and efforts are all in vain. Who will pick you up when you've lost everything? Does it all become for granted with a wedding ring? Oh, there must be more. There must be another way. There must be conscious, different things in different ways. There must be love. There must be a reason, and a little bit of faith has got to come my way. I was just a little girl when my mama used to say, ooh, happiness requires work every day.
I know technically I'm only supposed to be doing the windows, but I've been waiting so long to address this front porch. We don't currently have a regular pest control come out. And normally when you have a pest control company come out to your house and service your house, they will also sweep all the cobwebs from around your home. So while I was already out here, I figured I could go ahead and use this old broom that I kind of saved for purposes like this, so I can sweep all the cobwebs out and then I can come back later with the leaf blower. Now, I'm not going to get to any decorating today, but I will say that very soon I will be decorating my front porch along with a few areas in my home. So if you're not already subscribed, be sure to subscribe so you can follow along this journey as I turn this house into a home.
I give it all to you for too long.
picture you crying on your pillow. Never wanted you to feel like I'm not there, but I know that in this life you will have trouble. I just wanna let you know that I'm still right.
I wouldn't quite call myself a girly girl. I mean, growing up, I was definitely a tomboy. And later on in my teens and early adult life, I was getting a little more into, doing my hair and things like that. But I never really would call myself a girly girl. However, I hate spiders. So I am very proud of myself that I didn't let that fear keep me from doing a thorough clean of this front porch, especially when you consider all of the spider webs, and I even had to address a couple of live spiders throughout this cleaning. But I'm so happy that I did, because it turned out so good. As you're getting ready to see here, the before and after shots are just so good. In the totality of it all, I really didn't do that much, but it just feels like a new space, especially with this lantern clean. It looks brand new. So this just goes to show the power of a good cleaning. And seeing it this clean definitely gives me the motivation to keep it this way.
Call out desperately when you need me the most. I am God. I'm your rock. Don't let go. Keep holding on to me. Drawing close. Call out desperately when you need me the most. I am God. I'm your rock. Don't let go. Keep holding on. Seek my face while I hold your hand. Unchanging faith. You can trust my plan. Seek my face while I hold your hand.
You guys will have to let me know down in the comments what you thought of the before and afters of my front porch. But now it's time to address my sliding glass doors. Like most of the things that I've cleaned in this video, it has been a minute since I've addressed these glass doors. And like I mentioned earlier, I do keep my windows and even the sliding glass door open as much as I can, just to get that nice breeze to flow throughout the house. But along with that comes plenty of dust that will collect along the bottom of the sliding glass door. So I definitely had my work cut out for me. But this is actually one of the specific things that I was curious about. For those of you that are watching that have a sliding glass door like this, how often do you clean it? I'm actually thinking of adding this to my monthly cleaning list instead of doing this twice a year. What do you think?
Along for the ride, but you knew me before I was born, so why would I try to do this on my own? I will stand still, stand still. I will stand
I know I said earlier that a lot of the mess that I'm seeing was probably here before we moved in, but this windowsill is absolutely my fault. This sliding glass door was actually installed just before moving in because the previous renters actually ended up breaking the windowsill, which left a white fog that you couldn't get rid of. So total accountability here. This is completely my fault. But I'm wanting to pick your brain here. How do you clean window screens? So you can see me here kind of going over it with the vacuum. I figured I could kind of sweep off the dust while having the vacuum on to kind of suck up any dust that wanted to come back inside. So I'm curious, do you guys have any tips or tricks to clean window screens? Because I do have a few more windows that I definitely need to clean in next week's video.
I feel good, like I'm walking on sunshine, and there's nothing that can bring me down. Real good, like joy came in the morning, and the birds are singing sweet sounds. The sun set me free if I just believe I am. Vision is key, so if you can see, you can rise above it. So when life is life.
Now that I got these windows clean and the sliding glass door clean, it is time to hang my curtains back up. I actually didn't dry them. I just hung them back up and let them air dry. I kind of feel like clothes or anything that you wash tend to get more damaged in the dryer, so I definitely like to hang dry as much as possible. Plus, when they hang dry, that smell of fresh laundry just fills your house, which is just a little bonus. But there you have it, guys. Thank you so much for joining me for this week's video. Let me know what you thought. I always love to hear from you. And make sure to join me for next week's video because I am going to try my hardest to finish the rest of my house. That way I can get on to the decorating. So I hope to see you then.